does that work? You don't have to pay anything.
No, I don't pay anything.
Okay. But what services does NHI provide? Like the doctors, what services do they provide for you? The doctors who are on NHI listing. What services? Is it just blood work, um, examinations, or what features do
Well, I
they
haven't
have?
I haven't used my NHI because
Mhm.
I have my normal
Insurance.
insurance. I
Mhm.
only got it for a backup. And then I think when I was asking, I wanted to use my NHI one time. And I think they told me the doctor that I was signed up with, she told me that
Mhm.
she didn't have any appointments for the NHI appointments, maybe like 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. That's the issue with NHI. You should you should have your alternative insurance because it's really hard, they say, to get appointment with NHI for persons who use an NHI. They say it's hard to get an appointment. Yeah,
Yeah, but
because a lot of people. Hmm.
I know my sister and her daughter is signed up and she was
Hmm.
able to use her NHI to do the school medical
Uh-huh.
for her daughter.
Okay.
So I thought that was good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's helpful too for a lot of persons who really can't afford medical insurance. And like I say, we know medical insurance is very expensive. And it's expensive on top of them adding VAT to it, even though VAT has gone down to 10%, it's still expensive. I always thought NHI was only for persons who had like conditions like high blood pressure or stuff like that. I didn't know anyone could sign up for NHI. I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, anyone can sign up once you have an NIB card.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Um, Health insurance providers. As you see with in the US, they have commercial insurers, Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association, Health Maintenance Organization, point of service, preferred providers. When they say insurance is provided by several types, what do you think when they say health insurance providers? What do you classify that here in the Bahamas?
Something like when they sell your home insurance, like where you have where just specifically to go to your local doctor, or you have I don't know, like car, house,
Yeah,
like
like
they are
mhm.
specific.
Yeah, like you would have health insurance. You have like not all, most insurance company provide different provide health insurance where they, under that health insurance, you also have dental, you have medical, you have dental. Some health insurance, you have a certain limit on mammogram and stuff like that. Yeah. Miss Burrows, not hearing you tonight. You good?
I'm not feeling well, but I'm here.
Oh, what happened? You drank too much yesterday? Or you
I
party
guess
too
so.
much?
Mm. I get
You
crumb.
had you had too much fun on Valentine. Okay. Hmm.
No, I had no fun.
No? Okay. Well, I had class on Valentine. So
So
yeah.
so did I. Straight through till 9 p.m.
Oh, I didn't keep them till 9.
Yeah.
Mr. Bingham kept you all in accounting, eh?
And he promised that it would have been at least maybe till 8, but we sure went up to 9.
Well, last night we had finished the chapter we needed, so we
Yeah.
started another chapter. So yeah. So
Awesome.
anybody wanna talk about health insurance providers. I'm not going to read, and I don't want reading. So I hope all of you did have the opportunity to read, to just take bits and points from health insurance providers. What do you gather from this topic? Anyone?
Okay, I'll try. When I started to read about the Medicare and the Medicaid, I gather that they were talking about health insurance in different aspects. So I tried to relate it as to bring it back to the Bahamas. So I started thinking about NHI versus private healthcare. Yes, and then it went on to some stuff that I needed clarity about, like deductibles, because I recently got health insurance and I kept asking my insurance guy, what do you mean about deductibles? Like, and he couldn't really clarify. He just keep telling me deductibles, your deductible is X. And I'm like, but I don't understand. What is a deductible? And he can explain it to me. So reading it, I get a little bit of clarity, but I'm still a bit confused.
Well, you probably need to tell him. To see, deductible, from my understanding, is there's a certain amount that you would have had to pay. That's my understanding. We have a copay, but you have to meet a certain deductible. Like when you go to do your like when I went to do my annual, they say you have to have a certain deductible to be able to not having to pay more than your 20%. That's what I gathered from it. But health insurance providers, when payment for health expenses is provided as an employee benefit, like you all say, all of you have, except Miss Knowles,
Yes, ma'am.
who said she don't have it, but employers pay a portion. When I worked at the bank, because I was in management, I paid 33% and my employer paid 66%. So that's how it worked for me. And then, with health insurance, if even though your employer is paying and you say you decided that I'm going to put my husband, I'm going to put my children, it can be a hefty penny because you included all these, you added all of these family members to the insurance. So it can be very expensive, because I know I had my younger son added to my health insurance and when he went off to college, I paid it, but when he went off to college, I decided that he needed to take out the one in Canada, and that's what he did. And so I just dropped it because I had to pay for him. I think I had to pay, must see, 200 and something just for him alone. And then I had to pay my 33% portion. So that was a hefty penny coming out my salary every month. Yeah. So it can be very expensive according to how many persons you add to your health insurance package. Is
Miss
that
Smith,
still the case?
that is expensive. I have my husband and my son on it, and we don't have to pay at all. They just automatically add it once you're married and have kids.
That's some
And
companies,
this is
because when
Scotia buying. Yeah.
I worked at the offshore company, I didn't pay insurance at all. I didn't pay medical insurance at all. The offshore bank paid everything, and all my children and my husband, everybody had a car. Yeah, the offshore bank paid it for me. I never had to pay. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's how
that's awesome.
Scotia is set up.
That's awesome. Yeah. Miss Burrows, do you have members of your family or immediate family added to your insurance? Do you have to pay for that? Huh?
Yeah, we have to pay 50%.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, because I know that's hard work, but when I worked at the offshore, I didn't have to pay insurance at all. It was the bank paid it for everything for me. Yeah. Okay. Many employees set up a self-insurance arrangement to either replace or supplement coverage obtained from one or more of these type of providers. Well, we know we're actually speaking to the US, but we know here in the Bahamas, we have a different kind of health system. And as we know, we have most, like say for instance, Canada. Canada is, their healthcare is awesome for their persons who live there, like us. What do you think about our healthcare system here in the Bahamas? What do you think about it, especially after COVID, with COVID? What do you think about our healthcare system here?
It sucks.
How is it working?
I think our healthcare system is trying. That's all I can say. Other than that, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. Seeing that we only have two major hospitals, claiming we have seven, not claiming, but we do have 700 islands and keys. I think we have a lot of work to be done, because I believe every island that is inhabited should have its own hospital.
Yeah. If not its own hospital, the clinic should be more
A functioning
updated.
clinic, yeah.
Right.
And equipped right.
Yeah. Not to say that everything, oh, this person had to be airlifted and people die on the way here to Nassau because of what?
Yes, ma'am.
We have some islands where we have clinics that are not even open. Say for instance in Salvador, I think that's one of the reasons why Club Med closed, because there was no functional clinic in San Salvador. So I think our healthcare system around the Bahamas is, it really needs some work. And I think too, if you ever had any occasion to have to go into Princess Margaret Hospital, you would know that I would want my own private health insurance. I would not want to have to depend on going to the government clinic or the government hospital, because you could die on the trolley.
Yes, ma'am. The service is really awful, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And like with anything in our country, customer service don't seem to play a vital role with a lot of government agencies. It's just that they're doing us a favor. It's not us paying their salary, coming, for when you get to the clinic, it's like they looking at you, or you go to the hospital, it's like you sitting there for a long time. I remember my mother before she passed, she was there. I came from work. I had to sit there with her straight from work. We left that hospital, must see 1 o'clock that morning. My mother just sitting there, an accident and emergency. That's what they do, So I think, and then we have a hospital that's been there for, my mother must be born, and what upgrade have they done to they keep upgrading. How can you continue to place a Band-Aid on a cut that keeps opening? What do? You have to fix it. And before they just say, okay, now let's nip this in the bud. We have so much land, build a new hospital. They just keep patching it. And so it just keep bursting at every seam, because they just keep patching it instead of actually dealing with the situation. And COVID has shown us that our healthcare system is in crisis, and it is. Whether the government wants to say it, it is in crisis. Yeah. Okay. Miss Nan, Medicare, Medicaid, and Medicare. Can you tell me what that is all about?
Good evening.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm assuming based on what I gathered, the Medicaid and Medicare, I feel as though this is something offered in the US.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it don't really apply to us over here, right?
No, but like they
So
say, gen- genetic generic name for the variety of state administered program that provides medical care. Medicaid, Medicaid is for like low income
And
people.
come up,
Like you,
yeah.
so this is
like you
like
have,
something that the government offers. Like this is like
yes,
That
assistance.
would be like a NHI.
yeah, yes, just like NHI. But we know NHI is not just for low income persons, because
Yes,
That's
I
for
ma'am.
me
know
too.
people, I know people who make dollars, and they, when they said to me that they have NHI, I say, well, you have NHI and you have insurance, well, you have NHI. So it's not really just for low income persons here, you know. And
That
then
is, let me see.
mhm,
Medicaid, in the US, it is for low income. Middle
yeah, low
class
income.
persons are unable to get on it and are upper class. So what it's more geared for is persons who live in the inner city, who live on a poverty level. It stretches out to
Okay,
rural areas,
okay,
and it is mostly the persons that are, and you have to prove that you cannot
mhm,
afford medical assistance. Now, the problem with the Medicaid is that if
mhm,
you need major surgeries and stuff, that really doesn't cover it. So you
okay,
still will have to figure out and find out how are you gonna get on the list for kidney or whatever.
right,
I know this because I grew up over there.
oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, all right,
And
yeah,
the other part of it is it's more, they established this Medicare for the oldest seasoned persons. You will have Blue
mhm,
Shield, Blue Cross fall underneath that. And at first that was mostly for government workers who works with the US government, and then they had to expand it as the need
okay,
became more um more needed, yeah. I can do that for my auntie, boy.
okay. Yeah, but like I say, yeah, because like I saying Medicare is for persons age 65 or older. Yeah. Like we have here with national insurance. National insurance here, you know, if you put in a claim, I don't know if anybody, you know, when you work and you put in your claim and you how long it takes before you get it, because I remember I was off sick from work for like a week. I left Fidelity. That happened in 2020. I left Fidelity last year, March. I did not get that claim until must be July of 2021. So I had to go and get it and then send it back to Fidelity where I used to work. So with national insurance, it's like you don't you don't put in a claim and expect to get it back right away. I don't know y'all experience with putting a national insurance claim and getting it back. Anyone had to put in a national insurance claim and had issues with getting it back at a certain time?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
My thank God for Commonwealth Bank Health Insurance. I had to have a major surgery and I was not here. It was in the US. Everything, my surgery was like 170,000. So I had to pay out of pocket. I paid out of pocket what I had to pay. And I was in hospital I was out for about 3 to 4 months. And I got the money. I would have came back home that January. I got that money in July, I think. Well, they were supposed to pay me.
Yeah,
So
it's
that I was
yeah.
like 6 months later. So if I was waiting for them to pay anything, and that was only the salary part, all the medical was paid by my work and myself. So if I
Okay.
didn't have that insurance, I'd have
Yeah.
still been fumbling.
But I'm trying to find out, do NHI, I don't think NHI would cover anything like that, right? Major surgery and stuff like that. NHI won't cover something like that.
Well, I don't know because of the delicacy of my surgery, I was referred to Cleveland Clinic.
Okay.
So, yeah. I know my coworker who had to go over for the same about a year ago. This is since, no, 2 years ago, sorry, right before COVID. Oh shoot, she ain't get her claim yet. I think she gave up on that. Yeah, she ain't get her money. I just remember we just was talking about that because we both have to go back in November for our follow-ups. She ain't get paid yet, so I don't know. And then she did use NHI for true. So she she ain't get nothing. But and she was referred because there was no doctors who could assist her. She was referred. So we thought that if you were referred, they could have paid for something. But
nothing.
That wasn't the case. No, because our insurance would have paid for someone to fly over with us, the hotel, car, whatever. And we thought maybe NHI would have kicked in and helped pay for something, nothing. Yeah, so they need to shut that down.
Anybody want to elaborate more on deductibles or read that section for me?
I'll read it. Deductibles. Deductibles are used in health insurance to combine the risk management tools of risk retention and transfer. The most common deductible arrangement in health insurance is the calendar year deductible. Covered losses are generated throughout the calendar year until they exceed the stated deductible. Only after that point does the insured receive any reimbursement for the policy.
Right.
Per cost deductible. Each new sickness or accidental injury results in the assessment of a deductible. Sometimes deductibles are applied on a family basis rather than on an individual basis. Another variation is to waive individual deductibles after 2 or 3 members of the same family have had claims exceeding their applicable calendar year deductibles.
Okay, so deductible, now that I'm understanding, is that when you get a service, like a lot of times we'd go and get annual. So it says that, and so it's saying to me, I won't get anything back from it just because I've not met my deductible. So I don't expect to get any money back. No reimbursement or anything back from the insurance because I've not met my full deductible. So I don't get anything back. That's what I'm understanding. Anybody else?
No, with your physicals, most insurance will give you $500. Anything over $500, you have to pay. Now, once you start, right. So once you go outside of that, say for instance, you have another issue and you go to the doctor, whatever you paid over your health insurance with your physical, that counts towards your deductibles. Deductibles can be 5, 10%, 20%, whatever. Ours at Commonwealth Bank is 10%. So my first surgery would have been 60 grand. So I paid 10% of the 60. Then when it was 170, I paid 10% of that because they were both in 2 different calendar years.
Okay.
And then also it depends on if you were referred, and that's when the deductible kind of changes. They'll be like, okay, we know that this isn't. She had something done on this specific surgery or whatever. When you go back again, it'll probably be your deductible will be 5%. They know that, so they know that risk there. So it's for preventative care. That's what I was looking for. So if you're doing preventative care, it depends the name of the surgery or what is going to the cost or the results of it. Sorry. Okay. I had to learn all of this.
Okay.
Because of experience.
We see copay. What is copay? We know that most copay we have 20/80. We pay 20%. The company pay 80%. Now, I don't know, some companies is different because I know somebody say they probably pay 30 and their company pays 70. So I know my experience is that I would have to pay 20% when I go, if I go to the walk-in clinic or I go to get anything done. Other than that annual, I have to pay 20%. Anybody have to pay more or less?
No, that's like for dental, eye, emergency eye care, emergency dental care. Any emergencies per se, that's what that copay is about.
Okay. All righty. Miss Nan, you can continue for me. You can read coinsurance.
Okay, coinsurance. The policy specifies that the insurer will pay a percentage, often 80%, of the covered loss after the applicable deductible has been satisfied. Coinsurance is a particularly important element of POS and PPO plans. It often provides the primary financial incentive for encouraging insurers to seek medical care for a particular network of doctors. For example, one arrangement is to pay 90% of expenses after a small deductible if the patient receives care from a provider within the network. However, if the patient receives care from a doctor who is outside the network, the reimbursement rate may only be 60%.
Okay. Then they talk about caps. If the policy has both a deductible and a coinsurance premium, the cost sharing with a major health problem can be substantial. Policies of coinsurance provisions may include an upper limit on the amount of the cost sharing required. Sometimes coinsurance caps are implied rather than stated explicitly. Out-of-pocket cap applies that the limit to amounts that the insured pay for both co-insurance and applicable deductible. If I don't know, some of you may, y'all who are married, are y'all allowed, like if y'all have kids, is it allowed, your insurance allow each one person to pay 50%, the other person to pay 50%? I mean, not pay, but use their insurance to cover the full 100%?
Yeah, that's allowed.
Okay. So, because I know with some people do it where, okay, I can use my insurance and I can use my husband to cover, or say I was having a surgery and my husband have the insurance also. I can use half of his and half of mine. But then I know sometimes through some insurance company would say, okay, if you have your husband you're insured under your husband, you could not have a medical insurance of your own. Hi. Hello.
I know about that one.
Pardon me? Yeah, because I was just asking because I know they said you can't have two insurance, because if you're covered on, if you're under your husband insurance, you couldn't have your own medical and get paid for both.
Yeah, I know my coworker, her husband is on the police force. She works to the bank. Her husband is on the police force and she works to the bank. So she's under his insurance and under the bank insurance. So whenever she uses a card, she'll be 100% covered.
Okay. Yeah, but I
Yes,
know
one of my coworkers are like that too.
Okay.
My husband also works for the police force.
So she's covered under both.
Yes, but what they normally call it is a primary insurance and then secondary, yes.
Okay.
The second insurance only can pay the difference. They can't, like, you can't claim twice and get the full.
I don't know. Someone can mute for me, please. Yeah. Okay. Then they're talking about the maximum limit. Can somebody read that for me? Miss Brown Knowles?
Yes. Okay, so maximum minimum. A few health insurance plans have no limits on the amount of benefit that can be paid for covered expenses, whereas others have a lifetime maximum that applies to some of all benefits payable under the plan. However, lifetime maximums may be able to be restored, allowing an individual to collect more than the overall lifetime maximum stated in the policy. Automatic restoration of the maximum may occur gradually over time. Continue.
Yes, please.
Okay, as an alternate to a gradual restoration process, some health policies allowed insured to provide evidence of insurability that is then used to justify restoration of the entire lifetime maximum all at once. Such evidence usually consists of a medical examination showing that the individual meets the same health standards required for new applicants for health insurance. A health insurance policy may have various internal maximums that applies to particular health problems. Treatment for alcohol and drug abuse, for example, is often insured for much less than the coverage provided for other types of health problems. Internal maximums serve to protect the insurer from potentially excessive claims.
Okay, I know, like I was saying before, I know with BAF, you have a maximum for medical 2 million. You can get up to 2 million. And this 2 million, you know, like some insurances say, when you've used all of it, that's it. With BAF, you can have 2 million this year, and next year it's renewable 2 million again. So unlike some insurance companies say, okay, you're insured for this amount, and if you use, say you use 500,000, you're left with 1,500,000. But BAF, if you the next year you're still, it's renewable, so you still have that $2 million insurance, even if you didn't use it, the 2 million is still there. Did anybody read this the chapter?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody want to talk about health expense insurance?
Okay, let me see. I kind of figure out this breakdown, you know.
Pardon me?
Okay.
Health expenses.
Um,
Anybody want to read, please? I'll talk about what you gather from health insurance expense insurance.
Okay, what I gather is that health insurance have a breakdown of different types of expenses and what they're looking for, what they're offering, short-term, long-term. For instance, what I gather is like someone who has cancer. Let me give an example. A cancer patient. We talked about the max for some companies, like our company. You have a maximum of a 1 million, that's Atlantic Medical. 1 million is towards anything related to cancer treatment, whatever. After that, you're no longer covered. And what I just learned tonight from you is BAF does the 2 million this year, and then it's wiped out, and then you start over next year, which is good.
Yeah.
what happens with this type, with what I'm gathering, where you have so many claims in certain areas, the companies or, for instance, Atlantic Medical, BS, whatever, the rate of insurability, the risk portion of it, they revisit it and they increase your
Premium.
policy, your premium payments. For instance, basic health. If they notice that persons are going to the doctor's more often for cold, flus or whatever, that drives the premiums up. And I think for the last 5 years, premiums have been going up in reference to that, especially with COVID. For surgical, there haven't been much surgical because persons can't afford to pay that copay. So a lot of us are walking around unable to get the surgery, so that portion of it won't be touched.
Okay. Yeah, because you have long-term, short-term.
Yeah. With the long-term and short-term, for instance, like I fall down on the job and my back, I have a back injury, I'm unable to work. You get that disability, and then you go through all your treatment and physicals and with physiotherapy and stuff, and now you're well and you can work again. That's short term. Whereas if you fall, you break your back, you are paralyzed, you're unable, that's long. The long term one, that again also drives the premium. Jesus, everything drives the premium up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
because
what
I know, like,
from that.
Yeah, because I know, like, some companies, if you have 2 persons or 3 persons in that same one company, has 3 employees who all 3 of them have cancer. And so what happens then is that the insurance company that the your job is insured with, because of those 3 persons having the claim, insurance goes up also. I never even knew that till somebody said, yeah, because so and so and so and so and so had it. Oh yeah, that's why our insurance premium went up. Yeah, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had 7 and ours went up. Big time, and all 7 maxed out. So we paid for that for 3 years. Dental insurance, they cut back on the dental insurance. One time ago, you could have gotten $1,500 towards orthodontal care if you have to get braces. You don't have that anymore. You just have $1,500. Anything after that, it has to be an emergency. And then you also have to meet a copay. The copay in the dental field area is not the 10 or 20%. It's actually higher.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is that right there increase that caused an increase in the premiums, and that a lot of persons again are not doing their dental. They are doing the basic and dental because they can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, but insurance, like we know, medical insurance, be it dental, vision, because can you go to any eye doctor without paying almost $700? You get the first day you get, well, you get $400. Anything after that, you have to pay. I know the company where I was, $400. Anything after that, you have to pay. Yeah.
Out of pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your lenses, basic lenses is going to run you about $200-$300. After the $120 for the test, you can't afford to buy the frames because the frames are another $400-$500.
It is, yeah. Hospital insurance. A hospital insurance contract is one of the basic health insurance policies. Basic health insurance policies have fewer costs sharing provisions than policies that are not considered to be basic health contracts. Hospital insurance policy provides indemnification of necessary hospitalization expense, such as you have to pay for the room, you have to pay for the nurses, you have to pay the lab fees, you have to pay for the operating room, and you have to pay for certain medical supplies. So when you say, for instance, you go now, you have to have, you're having a baby. The bottom line about it is now you have to pay all, when you look at your bill, you see it itemized that you're paying for the gloves and all. You're paying for everything. I don't know if y'all ever took a look at
I
the
did.
services that you're paying for. And I'd be like, I'm paying for the gloves, I'm paying for
Yes, ma'am.
the cotton, I'm paying for, yeah, you're paying for everything. So everything is itemized on your bill. And I know, especially, I didn't experience it in PMH, but at doctor's hospital, everything. And if you're on the private, you have to pay for your nurse, you gotta pay for lab fees. And sometimes the nurses there, I know I had a situation where my nurse, I had a C-section and my nurse, what she did, I'm looking and she bringing the baby. I'm looking at the woman like, miss, you didn't see I have a C-section. What you bringing this baby to me for? But, and some of the nurses are not, they're not compassionate at all. They don't really care. They don't, and I felt, even though people say, oh, doctors, I felt so much comfortable in PMH when, well, that was many years ago, but that was my best service in PMH in the private ward. I had the best nurses at PMH in the private
You got them
ward.
from Longley House.
Huh?
You got those nurses from Longley House.
Yeah, the best nurses. Trust me, I didn't see neither of my first son. I didn't see him for a day. The second one I didn't. I said, I need rest. I need to sleep. I didn't see my children, and they didn't fuss like a doctor's. The lady just rest the child, and when they look, child on the side of me. I was like, whoa. I had to go and bathe myself and do everything, and I'm paying for a private nurse. So, like I say, the service is no longer the way it used to be in our country.
That sound like PMH.
No, that's what you experienced in PMH?
Yes. What?
Now.
Oh, I didn't. Like I said, it's been many
didn't.
moons.
Awful.
It's been many moons, so my experience at PMH was quite the opposite of doctors.
My
My
experience
experience too
was
in PMH was awesome as well.
Yeah,
Like I had a
yeah.
C-section, and like you said, they don't bring the baby until
No,
I don't think I saw my baby until I was checking out.
thank
And
you.
the nurse, she was so nice.
Yeah,
She told my husband, take her cell phone, unhook the phone, don't let her get no phone calls. She gave me some pain meds, boy, and I was knocked out for the whole night.
yeah, yeah. So that's why I say everybody experience is different. And for me, PMH was the best experience for me. I didn't have to, when I went to doctors, I expected it to be better because I had to pay more. And if anybody knows, like we know medical, if you go and you're supposed to have normal delivery and you have a C-section, the medical bill has jumped from when I had children, 2,500 to 5,000,
Yeah, they double it.
6,000. I'm like,
Yes.
so that's why I say we have to have better healthcare in our country. And I hope with NHI, some relief come to persons who really cannot afford to go to pay those fees. Because, trying to get in PMH to have a baby, sometimes it's very difficult because every ward is full. There are people who have different medical issues on the maternity ward. Why? Because there's no beds. The healthcare system needs a lot of work in our country. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what I would do without health insurance, honestly.
Yeah. So how do you think persons who don't, like younger persons who have children, and what do you think they have to pay at PMH?
Oh, let me talk on that, because recently I had a baby and me and my husband was contemplating going private. But anyway, a hiccup happened and we had to use funds. So I went on a public ward. I have insurance, mind you, but I have I guess the basic sick and accident, hospitalization with family guardian. So I'm like, well, that won't really cover much to go on a private ward. Let's just go regularly and let's pray. I went, like I say, my experience, in all honesty, the regular staff at PMH, I could say, but only one was really helpful to me. But the interns, they were awesome. Now, I could say the new generation, they doing something. I just hope that they don't
Okay.
follow suit with the older generation, because my midwife was a settled, let me not say older, a seasoned lady. And let me tell you, this is my first child. I don't know nothing about pushing. I don't know nothing. The lady tell me, say, miss, you are grown. If you don't push this baby and do this by yourself, I'm not helping you. No suction cup, no nothing. She said, you are on your own and your baby head is right there. So you figure it out. I'm like, what? Anyway, I say, you know what? I must suck this up. I don't want my baby to die. I push the baby out. Here comes the baby. Now I black out. I don't know what's going on. I black out. The lady tapped me. She said, Miss, read what this thing say. And I read it. And then after that, the baby went in the nursery. So the lady comes, she put this bowl on the table with the hot water. She said, here. So I look at her. I'm like, okay, I don't know what this for. You know, no explanation. I already tell you all, I've never had a baby before. This is my first child. She leaves. She comes back the next 15 minutes. So she's going to say, oh, so you on bed then? So I'm like, so where I supposed to bathe, mom? So she say, that's what the bowl and the water for. I'm like, oh. I say, oh, okay. I say, well, give me some time because I don't usually bathe in bowl and water. So this is new to me.
Yeah, but
After that,
like
yes, ma'am. After
you
that,
can go.
after that, now it's time for me to rest. I kid you not, this lady have her music playing. And she's there gyrating and this and that. Now I don't have a baby. This is a lot for me to process, to take in. You really think I want to see and hear your reggae music playing in the background and you gyrating while I trying to calm myself and gather my thoughts? Really? It was awful. And I said, from a seasoned worker, that is really unacceptable. But that's the service they run now.
Yes, and that's what I say. And that's why a lot of times with the healthcare system, people say, the nurses did their best. No, anybody who goes in PMH and tell you that they go in that accident and emergency, or you sit there waiting for them to call you, or it's just government services on the whole is just not good at all. And like I say, our healthcare system need a lot of work. It does. And that's why Doctors Hospital is there, and that's why Doctors Hospital charge you so much money. And if you do not have medical insurance, hospitalization insurance, what is going on? You have to go and put up with what is happening at the government hospital. And like I say, one example of good health care, and a lot of persons you see move to Canada because of good health care. They have a good health care system. You know, they look out for their persons over there, especially the elders. You know, but here our healthcare system is awful, and every year our medical insurance goes up. You know, so. And when time to claim after you've been sick, and time to claim from national insurance, even with persons who have maternity benefits, is trying to claim from national insurance. It's such a long process, so much wait. And so you try to understand how is it that other countries are able to, you know, just move ahead and do things in order and do things on time, when we here is like, it's just an issue, you know, and we're paying our policies, we're paying our portion, but we're not getting the right health care. And like, I'm not sure who mentioned that, which one of you mentioned that your insurance agent was not able to tell you about the deductible.
That was me.
And like I say, the same thing when it comes to in the banking system, in any different, persons who are actually selling us the service. And that's why you see persons who go to the bank for a loan, go for a mortgage, or, before the persons really explain to, okay, you're getting this mortgage. Now, you know that you're getting $200,000. You're getting this mortgage for 20 years. Now, let me explain to you. You may look at your mortgage and you may say, okay, why is it that my payment, why my principal is still at this amount? They don't explain to the mortgagee that okay, guess what? Interest comes out first, your principal, then money goes to your principal. And if you get a mortgage for 20 years, at least 10 or 12 of that years, you see the majority of your money going straight to interest. So a lot of times we don't explain with most things. And so persons who getting loans or just opening an account. I want to open a checking account. Miss, why do you want to open a checking account? What is the reason? Do you have a business, or do you have, like, you have pay different payments that you have to make? Sometimes people just don't understand the difference between a checking and a savings. So they just say, I want to open a checking. But as a customer service rep, you should, ask, what is the purpose of you opening this account? So you can give them more, advice as to say, I think this account, this is the services that we offer, this account will be better for you, or this is a product, this will be better for you. So I think a lot of times we don't explain. So, and because of that, people find themselves on the wrong side. Okay, Miss Knowles, that was Miss Brown Knowles, right? You were reading?
I read maximum, but if you want me to read again, I can read again.
No, let me get Miss Cartwright.
Yes.
Can you read hospital insurance? Continue. I think it's on page 25 in my book. I'm not sure what page it is in your book.
Okay. A hospital insurance contract is one of the basic health insurance
Hold on,
policies.
no, not there. I'm on the other
Oh.
page.
Okay, the one that said some contracts limit.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Some contracts limit coverage by specifying a maximum time period for which costs will be reimbursed for any one illness or injury. Covered expenses other than room and board are often referred to ancillary charges. Certain exclusions are contained in hospital insurance policies. Many policies exclude convalescence, custodian or rest care, voluntary hospital stays for some types of cosmetic surgeries, private duty nursing, and physical examination unrelated to the treatment of an injury or a sickness. You want me to go on to regular medical expenses? Okay.
Yes. Please.
Usually, regular medical expenses insurance, usually written in conjunction with other basic coverages rather than as a standalone contract. Most policies primarily cover physician services other than for surgical procedures. Some policies require that the individual be hospitalized, whereas others do not have this restriction. Coverage may be written to pay reasonable and customary fees, or there may be specific limits associated with each covered service. Typically, exclusions usually relate to routine physical examinations, dental care, and vision care.
Okay, because when you take out, when you join a company, you take out medical insurance. They give you the option whether you want to do vision and dental. Most people don't a lot of persons don't take out vision or dental. And then at the end of the day, when they realize that, oh, I need that, then they decide to take it out. But I know someone, they said to me that they did not, when they first joined the company, they did not take out dental and vision. So what happened when they wanted to do it, they had to wait a whole year to be able to join it. Any of you experienced that in your company? Hello? Hello?
I'm here, miss. But
I was just asking.
Meteorology, I don't have no insurance, so I can't answer that.
Right.
I
Well,
never.
others.
No, I haven't had that
Miss,
experience.
okay, okay. Miss Burrows?
We don't have the option. Once we have medical insurance, we have to have dental and vision.
You
Yeah, our package comes with
sure?
dental and vision. No, we pay extra for that. I am sorry.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I sorry. No, we pay yeah.
extra. We pay extra for it, but it's not like we have the option to say, well, I want it and I don't want it. We have to get it at
Sure.
our.
Right, you have to get it.
I'm positive.
Because I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, because I remember somebody, two persons right there. They said to me, they said that when they first joined, they didn't take out, they only did the medical, but they didn't add dental and vision. And because they now need it, they were told that they had to wait for another year before they're able to do it. Two persons.
Well,
So they had to wait.
we had Generali, but now we have Atlantic.
Right,
So I
that's
don't
with
know.
Generali. Yeah, so
Right.
that was then. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, y'all changed because Generali gone off the market. Well, they ain't here anymore. Yeah. Major medical insurance usually have higher limits and fewer exclusions than do hospital, surgical, and regular medical expense contract. Some major medical policies are designed to be coordinated with underlying basic health insurance. Others are designed to replace basic health coverage and insured all medical expenses within one policy called comprehensive form. Well, I guess they're looking at that like when you insure your guy, comprehensive. Usually have a substantial deductible and co-insurance provision, nearly always written on a reasonable and customary fee basis. Major medical insurance covers all the same type of expenses such as hospital, surgical, and regular medical expense contracts. Additionally, after satisfaction and applicable cost sharing provisions, major medical policies may cover expenses not addressed by basic health contracts, such as prescription drugs, ambulance service, physical therapy, crutches and wheelchair. Excuse me. Excess medical, major medical usually pays only, excuse, after another major medical policy has been exhausted. It has been exhausted its limit. Excuse me, gotta get some water. Can someone pick up Miss Bo Knowles? Can you pick up dental insurance for me, please? Oh,
Dental insurance. In lieu of health expense coverage, coverage services typically include filings, crowns, fillings, crowns, extractions, bridge work, dentures, root canals, therapy X-rays, treatments of gums, and orthodontics. Preventative care such as oral examinations and semi-annual cleanings are nearly always covered. Most policies have relatively low annual limits, and some limit coverage by applying fee schedules for various dental procedures. Deductibles and insurance provisions normally are used for non-preventative types of care. Cost sharing is usually waived for routine examinations, cleanings, and X-rays.
okay.
Medicare. Going to Medicare?
Yes, please.
Medicare currently includes both a compulsory, compulsory hospital insurance plan and voluntary, and medical insurance plans. Hospital insurance often refers to as Part A, provides coverage in the following main areas: implement hospital care, inpatient hospital care, skilled nursing home care, home health service, hospice care, hospice
Hospital
care.
care. Mhm.
Okay.
Here in the Bahamas, are you aware of the senior citizens home that are here? Do you know of any senior citizen home here where older people? Mhm.
Versus Rogers, they have one out in oh Lord, Pinewood. I can't remember the street name, but I know we went there to do some community service. We bought food and cooked for them. There's another one I cannot remember. The one in Pinewood is actually a private person, privately owned person. They just donated their home for older folks, and it's funded by donations and subsidized by social service. I don't know if it's still running. I didn't check it in the 2 years COVID has been going around.
Yes,
First
it's still running. That's the one through Breadfruit Street. It's still running.
Okay, yeah. We hadn't gone, we were supposed to go back, but yeah, that's a privately owned one. That's a person who, donate their home. There's another one out east. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember exactly where. Sorry?
There's one on Soldier Road as well.
Oh,
Soldier
I heard
Road.
Yeah, I heard, but I know on Soldier Road.
It's pink, like right after, it's somewhere right by NCA, like right after you pass NCA heading north. I don't know. It's Mary. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it.
Heading east,
No, heading north. Heading east. Heading east. You can say east. It's pink. It's on the left-hand side. I can't remember the name of it.
And there's one on East Street, one on East Street, but would seem to always be in the news.
East Street, oh yeah. Off Lily the Valley. There's one to Lily the Valley corner.
No, there's one right on East Street. Not way that East Street, by Checkers, somewhere almost by Checkers, where New Checkers is.
Oh yeah, where the gentleman stand by the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to the government preschool.
Yes, right there.
And there's one to Lily the Valley corner. I remember that one as a child. Yeah.
Lily the Valley corner, that's government, eh?
Yes, ma'am. And it's
senior citizens, call it the senior citizen zone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I remember that one. They have quite a few, but if you go there, a lot of them are in need of. Oh, there's also one in Baintown. They're in need of a lot of assistance.
Okay.
I
so
know
government assists some of them.
Yes. The pink one,
have one?
The Valley corner, the government's supposed to be running that, but persons also donate. Like families who would have family members in there, they would donate like the pens, clothing, food, and as such.
I know they had one in Yellow Elder too, where they call it the senior citizen something. They had one in Yellow Elder, but the gentleman, I know he died, so I'm not sure who ran it. I'm not sure if it's still there. Yeah.
The building is there, nobody is running it. It's the pink building. Okay. You can see it from the highway. No one has taken it over yet.
Okay.
And that is set up. He has that set up really, really nice inside. We do a lot of community. We did a lot of community service with him. He did a lot for the people, but they need someone to take that over or take. Yeah.
Okay, we have other health expenses insurance. Many other specialized forms of health insurance are available, including prescription drugs. NHI does prescription drugs too, right? Because I know they have people have their card. and they can go get their high blood pressure pills, they can get their diabetic medication, and they can go to the different pharmacies, and the pharmacies that are listed with NHI,
And you get them.
yeah, persons can get their drugs, and I guess the government pays the pharmacies later, but they get those drugs free of charge. They don't have to pay for high blood pressure medication. They don't have to pay for, like if they have different ailments, they don't have to pay for those drugs. They get them free. So imagine, high blood pressure pills are very expensive. Persons who are diabetic having to take needle and take pills, it's very expensive. So NHI, I guess, is doing great things for a lot of persons who can't afford to do stuff. Yeah. Vision care insurance covers the cost of, we talked about it, your eyeglass, your contact lens, and periodic routine eye examination. So we know insurances, health insurance that we have at our jobs, they cover for these costs. The different diseases now. I don't know, like such as cancer, some insurance do, and like Miss Knowles was saying, when it's done, it's done. And like I know when more than one person have, say for instance, cancer, which is a terminal illness, what happens then is that it causes the insurance to go up because, the insurance company having to pay for radiation, pay for so much stuff relating to cancer. So our insurance automatically goes up. Disability income insurance provides periodic income payment to the insured while he or she is unable to work as a result of sickness. Benefit duration. Benefits terminate at the earlier of as soon as the disability ends, when the benefit has been paid for a maximum benefit duration. Short-term disability. Short-term disability, they consider it as 6 months. Long-term disability, they consider it 5 to 10 years. So like Ms. Knowles mentioned, that sometimes persons may have an accident, they're not able to work for a couple months. Then you have persons who they are totally disabled, they cannot walk, and so they are paid long-term benefits. Grace period for, we know grace period for reinstating, be it life insurance, health insurance, is 31 days, often 31 days, although the period as short as 10 days is allowable for premium payable on a monthly basis. Like when you take out a life insurance or medical insurance, they say to you that, okay, if you don't pay your insurance, you get something, say, or your insurance could lapse if it's not paid at the 31st or at the 20 something of the month. And then, when you have to do reinstatement, you have to go through the same process all over again, because they have to make sure that you didn't acquire any illnesses during the time that you did have the insurance. Because like I know, I'm talking about life insurance, not, I know this is health, but in a situation with a life insurance, I knew of a situation where a bank was responsible for paying the life insurance of the customer. It slipped through the cracks in the insurance department, who the insurance department was responsible for ensuring that all insurance are paid. It slipped through the crack and it wasn't done. So the customer got a notice that your insurance lapsed. And this customer had a terminal illness. So because the customer had a terminal illness, to do reinstatement, the company would pick up that, okay, this person has a terminal illness and we can't reinstate the policy. But the bank had to take on the responsibility, as if the insurance, they had to really fight with the insurance company. And if the insurance company did not renew and reinstate that person insurance, the bank would have been liable. If that person had died, the bank would have been liable. I know the bank had to take out a contingency, open a contingency account for I think the insurance was like 50,000. So the bank had to open a contingency account and place that $50,000 in that account in case the insurance company did not reinstate that customer insurance, which was the bank's fault. But I guess magic was worked, because the insurance company, they must have realized the insurance company was at fault. So the insurance company did reinstate that customer policy, even though that customer was terminally ill. Yeah. So reinstatements, you get a grace period, like with anything. Most insurance can lapse. And so that's why insurance is supposed to send out to you to say that your insurance is ready to lapse. Because some people forget, some people in their busy schedule, they forget to go and pay. And so your insurance could lapse. Claims. We know with claims can take, a lot of times you put in claims for your insurance, and same type with national insurance, it could take a while. Sometimes it could take up to 20 days, like they say 20 days, but claims are generally should be handled within the shortest period of time. The insured generally is required to provide written notice to the insurer within 20 days or sooner as practical. When an illness or an accidental injury occurs, the insurer is required to provide appropriate claim form within 15 days. And like, you have to have your form in at a certain number of days too. And if you don't, you could lose getting any response or getting any payment reimbursement or payment for the claim. Generally, within 90 days of the loss, the insured must submit details providing the incurred expense being submitted for the payment by the insurer. After the insurer receives all of the information supporting a particular claim, it allows a reasonable period to check the claim and validate it. Yes, well, a lot of times people do false claim. Just like, remember, we had a situation where persons were going to say, oh, we took the COVID test, we took it at doctor's hospital, and when I guess called for verification, it was realized that they were fraudulent. So, and we had a lot of persons doing that, persons who needed to travel back to the family islands or from the family islands. So that was a situation. I haven't heard of any recently. So you have to verify claims, because people could say, oh, I have an injury, but there's no verification that you've been in the hospital. There's no verification that you visit the doctor. So, but you're claiming, yeah. And people fraud, so they can have a forge the signature of a doctor, get a stamp. A lot of times it's working with people who work in the office. If the insured deems it necessary, it has the right to require the insured to submit a physician physical exam. With few exceptions, after 3 years have passed since the insurance was in issue. Misstatement in the application generally can be used as grounds to deny a claim unless fraud was involved. Remember too, we have persons who could say, okay, they know they have a terminal illness, they know that, but they fill out the insurance. When they take out the insurance, they put all these information which they know are false. So once the insurance company investigate and realize that you got this insurance on the basis of false documentations or record, they could they could cancel your insurance. I know there was a situation at the bank and where I used to work. I work at two banks, one of them, and there was a situation where the customer was getting a a loan. It was a government employee getting a loan. And usually at banks, when you're certain age, some banks they allow have you take out a creditor's life insurance. And this person took out a creditor life insurance, and they did a loan at one branch. And at the branch that they did the loan, the creditor life insurance was denied. But like probably a couple months later, the same customer went to a different branch and got a loan. And when they filled out the creditor's life information, they lied on it to say they didn't have any issues. And that loan was approved. But it came down to the point where something happened. And I think somebody who had the authority to approve the loan remembered this customer, and when they did further search of a closed or canceled file, they realized that this customer did have a terminal illness, lied, so they had to cancel the loan again. But that's what happens. And so unless people do their due diligence, and this is the reason why insurance companies sometimes take long to give you a medical or a life insurance, because they have to do their due diligence, because people lie just to take out insurance. Claims. Legitimate medical expense covered by the policy must be paid immediately. With disability income claims payable at a monthly or shorter intervals, generally benefits are paid directly to the insured, although they can also be paid to the physician. As we know, sometimes the check is paid to the physician and not the insured, or the hospital and not the insured, or either medical providers if the insured requests it and the insurer agrees. When an insurer denies a claim, the insured may file a lawsuit disputing the decision. Individual health insurance policies specify that such suits are not valid if filed sooner than 60 days or later than 3 years. So we know that, I didn't know this. So if you don't file it, you can't file it earlier than 60 days or later than 3 years. And that's a long period of time for you to have to file a claim. Yeah. Any concerns, any thing to add to chapter 4? Chapter 3?
No, everything's straightforward for me.
Yeah, everything good.
Yeah. And class is very boring because we're reading and I'm reading. So class is rather boring. And like I said, I didn't want to touch chapter 4. I'm giving you something to do with chapter 4, and I need you to go over and read chapter 4. Chapter 4 really deals with life insurance. And we know with life insurance, we have term insurance, and term insurance can be, a lot of times we take out life insurance. People take out life insurance we have term, we have whole life, and we have universal life. These are the different type of life insurance that we can take out. Term insurance, we know a lot of persons here in the Bahamas now take out term insurance. For what? Why? In what instances does persons take out term insurance?
For mortgages.
Yeah. I mean, some people still take it out just as to say they have a life insurance, but now people are getting to understand term insurance is much cheaper, and you can take it out for the term of the mortgage. So if you have a 20-term mortgage, you can take out your term life insurance for the term of the mortgage, 20 years. Once the mortgage is completed, the insurance ceases unless you have a renewable one where you can I guess turn it into a whole life or a universal life insurance. Yeah. So term life, it can be from 1 year to 5 years or to 20 years. And like I said, it ends when the mortgage is, unless the coverage is renewable, you can renew it. Some term insurance is sold with exceptions that the coverage will be renewed several times. Straight term insurance is generally not renewable. Some insurance, you can renew them. So once the term is over, it's over and you can't renew. We know no savings accounts is attached to term insurance either. So term insurance is just term. We know whole life or universal life, you can get dividends, you can get a savings plan, all of this attached to your insurance. We whole life insurance may be kept in force for the insured entire lifetime. So whole life is one of the better ones as long as you can afford it. And like younger persons, it's better for them to, if you take out a whole life insurance at the age of say 18, when you finish, you start working and you take out a, or your parents take out that insurance from you from you were born, that's a good thing because your premium won't be so high if you continue to keep it. And then your cash values, and if you have cash values and dividends, they tend to grow. So a lot of times you can take out these insurance, and when you reach a certain age, it'll tell you that you can cash it in. So whole life and universal life, they are insurance that have these type of benefits added to them. Whole life, straight life contracts is arranged so that premiums are payable as long as the insured live. A limited pay life policy requires that premiums are payable for only a specific period of time. So we have insurance which is called limited life, where you can pay your policy premium for a certain specific time, and after that you don't have to worry about paying it anymore, such as a 20-year or until you reach the age of 65. After that time, no further premium is necessary, but the coverage remains in effect until the insured dies. It's also possible to pay for a whole life policy with only one premium, called single premium life. So there's a lot of benefits when it comes to whole life or universal life insurance. Term insurance don't have really any benefits. All it does is insure you for the time you want to insure for the term of the mortgage, or say I want to be insured up. I think I probably ain't gonna live till, they have some that go to 85. So I'm going to take this term life. By the time I'm 85, I may be gone. So my family still could get some money. But whole life premium insurance is one of the insurance is a better one. And like I say, if your parents or you take it out when you're young, the premium isn't so high. Say for instance, me now, I want to take out an insurance, my premium high because I older. So I'm going to have to pay a real high premium. How many of you have life insurance?
I do.
I do.
What type of insurance do you have? Do you have
I
whole
do.
life universal?
I
What
have
type
whole
of
life.
insurance? Okay. What your premiums look like? Or
Whole
you had
life.
it for a long time? Pardon me?
I had whole life. I would say the plan that I have now, I had for the past 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I pay $90 a month.
Which isn't bad because then, like I said, with the whole life, you got a lot of benefits with it. When a premium for a whole life insurance is paid to the insurer, part of the premium is used to help pay the policy fair share of debt. Benefits for the insured who dies that year. Part of the premium not needed to pay the year death benefit is used to pay current expenses of the insurer. Any remaining amount is invested to earn interest. So insurance company invests portion of your premium just as like an investment company, a bank. They invest your money, they lend your money. And like with a whole life insurance, you could even get a loan against it. Term, you can't. Whole life and universal life, you can, your policy, you can take out a loan against it. And as a lot of people do not sometimes recognize and understand that when you take out a loan against that policy, that is hitting your face value. And so if you don't tend to pay that loan back, because a lot of people get the loan, but they don't pay it back and don't understand that, it decreases your face value of your insurance because you didn't pay the loan back. So the insurance company has to have their money, recoup their money in some way. So if you die, and you was insured for 100,000 and you owe, you got a loan for 25,000, you never paid it back. So your face value totally decreased to like 75. And like I said, with whole life insurance,
No, more than that.
It'll go down more than that.
Yes, ma'am, because they charge you interest on that.
Oh, so it's gonna go down more than that.
Some
What happens
people
to the
die
cash
and don't have
value?
nothing. And once
You
it
tell me.
depletes of cash value, that means that they use, then they start, you pay it, the premium that you're paying, they're taking like $3 to $4, maybe $10 from that to put on your insurance. But the balance that you owe is gonna be more by the time
Because of the interest.
the claim goes through. Right, because they charge you, I think it's 18% interest.
Whoa, that's a credit card, eh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
One woman died, she had must be $500,000, but then yeah, that's compound interest. Then when she died, her family went, when they found out what, they Helena get hit.
Whoa.
So yeah, they don't explain none of this to the people.
Agreed. And that's with most financial institutions, most insurance companies, and that's why read Bahamas read, and whether we believe it or not, we don't read. So the fine prints we sign, we don't read, and then like we look at the fine prints and we be like, oh boy, I didn't know this. You know, it's like we don't read. So at the end of the day, we don't know until some issues arrive, and then we be like, well, this is this. You didn't read, you know, and because you didn't read, and because your agent or your rep did not explain to you or went through the process with you, they couldn't tell you everything, but some meaningful things that they could say they didn't. Yeah. So yeah, but cash values and even in taking a whole life insurance, cash values, I would thought it start billing just as you take it out. It takes some time before it start billing because when you look at the breakdown, you'd be like, gee, after 5-6 years, it's just really developing cash values. Then we have universal life. First introduced in the US in 1979, offers more flexible premium payment options than do most other form of life insurance. The minimum initial premium requires to activate the policy is specified by the insurer, but the policyholder usually decides the timing and the size of the subsequent premium. So, I mean, if I decide that I want to take out a policy for $100,000, then whatever the premium is, I have to determine whether if I want to pay that or and what we don't do, you know, it's amazing that every insurance company has their premium is totally different. And like I think I mentioned before, we talked about where some insurance companies like is it BAF? Yeah, BAF, where you take out your life insurance. You say, okay, now I take out this insurance. Nobody explained to me that, okay, you may be paying this insurance for funeral, you know, or something if somebody died, but nobody explained to me that 4 years later, if I die 2 years, I'm only going to get back what I put in. It takes 4 years for it to be fully, I would say fully vested for you to be able to get. If I die in 4 years, then if I'm insured for 25,000, then I would
think
get it.
I think it's after the 2 years. Once it's after 2 years, you
Two?
get the thing. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I think I just read it.
Oh, okay. Because I know the last time somebody, their husband got killed, and it was told to them that, oh, he had to be in insurance for 4 years, unless this is a new contract now that they're doing, because he's been gone for like 3-4 years. Yeah. But when he died, they told her that no, she can only get what he put into the policies. And she was like devastated, you know, because
But I mean, she didn't lose it in any which way. She didn't lose. At least she got what she put in.
She didn't lose, but you know, they go, you know how we go, that we want these big, not only that, we want to have these big funeral. We want to have a funeral where we got to have this big coffin, the big grave. I always said, I'm a kind of person. My insurance, just keep it, take care of my little granddaughter. But I was never a person to say, oh, when I die, I need this big funeral. I don't ever understand how is it that we as a nation is like funeral. If I die, cremate me. The government could give you probably $1,900. I don't know how much it is now. That national insurance money could cremate me. You don't have to have no service. You could just go right to the funeral home and yours, or go to the graveyard, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. See, nobody have to. We just have to have the big limousine. We have to have everybody dress alike. For what?
Well, a little private ceremony for me and take care of my children.
All I need, you don't even have to have a ceremony. You can just cremate me and don't worry about it.
Miss Smith, some people don't want burn twice.
Why? Well, like I say, I was always the person who believed. Let me go. What cremation is what? And I only give you what? Yeah.
Yes,
cremation go into
ma'am.
all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Man, when my brother died and he got cremated, I paid, I think, $3,000 because they had to, my whole family made noise because they wanted him lay out and I just wanted him cremated, and that was it. So I had to cough up the difference. And that was like $3,000 because they had to use the funeral home coffin and he had to lay out. So they charge you for that. $3,000 now for cremation.
I thought it was 10.
Whoa. For cremation? No, man, that's the funeral.
No, that's cremation.
That's cremation.
Cremation is what?
10,000.
No, man, that's the funeral in the coffin. No way, Jose.
That's a velvet coffin.
Well, I know it happened to me then. What? Not my money. No way. No way. And that's why I say too. And then a lot of people don't have no life insurance. Then you have a lot of persons who have life insurance, but it get leave for the children, and we got to pay for the funeral. We got to pay the pastor for having the service. And so it's like, it's good now that a lot, the BAF have where you can just take out insurance for funeral, for burial. So people could, because I don't see how I can spend $25,000 to bury somebody.
No funeral.
I see how I can spend $25,000 to bury somebody. You have to be kidding. No way. But people do it. People do it. The minimum initial, I like that. Policy owners can also periodically adjust the size of the death benefit in most universal life contracts. Although insurers may require proof of insurability if a request is made to increase the death benefit. Now you can imagine your husband say he's going to increase your death benefit. He have an insurance, but he say, oh, I think I need to insure you for a couple more. What would you think? I never even know they allow you to increase. I never even know they allowed you to increase.
Yes, ma'am.
You can increase it every year.
I just increased mine. You can increase it.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. You could go in for 100,000 every year. You can increase it.
Oh, okay. Cash values of universal life policy is established deliberately and varies regularly, depending on such factors as the insurer investment savings, mortality experience, and expenses. the amount and the timing of the premium paid by the insured. Basic version of life insurance contract differ only with respect to how the death benefit is designated. Type A, universal life. Type B, universal life. And like I say, universal life insurance and whole life insurance, a lot of people take them out, but they also kind of a little expensive. They have cash values. So, a lot of times instead of you having to go get a loan, you can just use your cash values and spend them, use that instead of, because a lot, like you say, I never even know that getting a loan against an insurance, a whole life or a universe, is the interest rate is 18% or more. I never knew that. I didn't know it was that high. And like we know, who has the who do they usually say live longer, man or woman? So who insurance is more expensive? Yeah, because but why? So we pay more for insurance than a male. A woman pays more for insurance than a male.
I pay more for my husband, and he pays less.
Pardon me?
I pay more for my
husband.
Right, because you're paying more for him, and he pay less for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why? And you know too.
And you know too.
Where does he work? Where does he work?
He's a plumber.
Interesting, because the only people who pay more, okay, for instance, if you and I are the same age and I work in the bank, my premium will be $10. If you're a policewoman, you work shift, you have a better chance of getting shot, working shift, falling asleep on your shift, driving, whatever, your premium can be way more than mine. If you are a smoker, it will be. There's different things that determine your premium. It's not only your age, it's also your vices and where you work.
And if you have pressure, high blood pressure.
Yeah, and medical issues.
Yeah. So it's different.
I have to inquire why. I don't know.
Yeah. As you would see too, an example at the bottom, interest rate sensitivity of type B, universal life, cash values, initial death benefits. You'll see interest rate 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. You'd see they give you the ages and they tell you at the end year end cash values. After 4 years, like I say, cash values don't start billing. You'd be like, okay, after 4 years, you get at the age of 25, you get 14, 35, 4,000, 45. So at 65, you have 17,960. If you look at the same person who's probably started at 25 at 13% interest, that's the interest they get in. When they hit 65, if they put up 100,000, they can have $365,000 if the interest rate is like 13%. And so this chart breaks it down and show you your cash values at the end of the year. Like I say, I want you all to really look at chapter 4. They talk about variable life, the death benefits and cash values fluctuates with the investment performance of one or more portfolios of securities. So variable life, they do investments, and the portfolio can have different types of securities. You could have Cable Bahamas, you could have RFMBT, you could have Fidelity Bank, you could have Commonwealth Bank. So they also invest in securities. Policyholders should designate the type of investment that they want to support their policies. You knew that? Did y'all know that? I never knew that. That I had some say to say where you put my money?
Yes, if you leave a will.
No, they say policyholders can designate the type of investment that they want to
Oh.
support them. I never
Yeah.
knew that.
Yes, you do. How much you get, what percentage and whatever. That's there. They don't tell you that, but it's there.
Okay, okay. If the selected investment increase in values, both the face amount and the cash values of the variable life contract will also increase. So if my investment increase, then my cash values increase, my face value increase. So that's a good thing if my investment increase. What happens if my investment don't? Poor investment performance will result in decrease of coverage and cash value. So if they invest in a securities that isn't good and it comes up where I lose, they invest in a high risk security and the say a mutual funds or it went down, so that means my face value is going to go down, my cash value is going to go down. Originally designed to provide an inflation hedge for both the debt protection and savings element of policies. Do Eric and either of you have savings attached to your policy? Savings attached to it where you pay a premium at each month at the end of the month, and then you also put a certain amount in a savings?
I
Do any of you
don't.
have that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Because they do have it, and it's good for like when you take out insurance for your children, it's good to do that because you pay their premium plus you have a small savings where you probably put a $50 a month, and you'd be amazed how it grows. But endowment policy is good too. A lot of persons take that out for when their children are born, they take that out because it grows also, and it's there. You can leave it there for a certain period of time, and when you're child or goes off to college, you can use that endowment plan and you can cash it in and just use it to pay their college fee. Variable universal life combines some of the features of both universal life and variable life insurance, referred to as flexible premium variable life. And as you see, variable life is also referred to as flexible premium variable life. Contrast usually is designed similarly to a universal life policy with respect to death benefits and flexible premium arrangement. A primary difference in the policy owners are given a choice of investment to be used to support the contract, rather than using one high-grade short-term money and market investment as in the standard universal life. Usually only the cash values of a variable universal policy varies with the performance of the underlying security. I'm now going to talk about modified life. Endowment policy. The endowment, the amount of an endowment insurance sold in the US is non-negotiable. Provides death benefits for a specific period of time, has the cash values, and the policy owner pays the contract face amount at the end of the protection period if the insurer is still alive. While the policy does not provide death protection, on a relatively basis, it emphasizes savings to a much greater degree than any policy discussed so far. Most insured now seeks other alternative because of the adverse tax treatment now accorded to the endowment policy. I'm not going to talk about individual industrial life. We can talk about creditor life. Credit life offer in connection with installment sales of consumer durables such as automobiles. Decreasing term insurance increase without a medical examination will expires when the installment sale contract is paid off. The cost of protection is incorporated into the regular payment made by the purchaser. If the insurer dies before the loan is repaid, sufficient coverage exists to repay the balance of the debt. protects the insured dependents as well as the lender. For like I say, some banks have it where they take out insurance on persons who get loans from them. Other banks don't. I know Commonwealth does. So if you die and your family don't have no insurance on you, most likely Commonwealth Bank have that insurance, so your loan is paid off. Someone worked at Commonwealth Bank, right? When you worked at Commonwealth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With say for instance, we have a customer, I'll have a customer who has default loan, they die, or say that their loans default, it's a inactive charge off. What happens? Does the bank have, if that customer is insured, is the bank able to claim and pay that inactive charge off? Or
No, ma'am, if it's an inactive, that means that there's no funds being placed on it. The old way that we used to do it, the insurance is paid up front. We now have, we go up to 70,000 that is paid on a monthly basis. So that's built into your
loan payment.
Your loan payment. Before, if they die, the 20,000 will cover. But because we went up, the premium, we can't take, if we take the face value of that 70,000, you'll be getting less funds. So you're paying your premium monthly.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And they did that so persons can borrow more money. And that kind of hurt the bank when they stop paying. When they stop paying, that means the premium stop paying.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Life insurance contract provision. I'm not talking about anything that relates to tax treatment. So I'm on, I don't know what page your book may have. I have page 90, page 47, section 93, life insurance contract provision. Y'all have it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Page 44.
Okay. The contractual provision of life insurance policies are special significance to the insured because it is through the wise use of these rights that some of the most valuable benefits of protection can be obtained. Incontestable clause. Like now we know when there's some clause that you can't contest. If a policy has been enforced for a given period, and if the insured has not died during that time, the insurer may not afterwards refuse to pay the proceeds, nor may it cancel or contest the contract even due to fraud. Thus, if an insured is found to have lied about, right, because people could lie, like we talked about it before, lie about their age. People could lie about their physical condition. And so when persons do that, that is fraud. So the conditions at that time, the application was made for the life insurance. And this misrepresentation is not discovered until the policy expiration of the incontestable clause. The insurer may neither cancel the policy nor refuse to pay the face amount if the insurer has died from a cause not excluded under the basic terms of the policy. So we see that people can lie, they can contest it. And one thing I know I never understood, because people always said about suicide. If a person commits suicide, are you able to collect from the insurance? If that person commits suicide?
Yes, you can. If you were in the insurance, yes. If you are in the insurance for more than
2 years, 2 years, within 2 years. If the I think more than 2 years.
It's 5 years. It was 5 years when I used to do insurance. I don't know what it is today, but once you were in it.
I'm looking at this now. It says suicide clause particularly protects the beneficiary from the financial consequences of suicide. States that if the insured does not commit suicide for at least a stated period, usually 2 years after the issuance of the contract, the insurers may not deny liability under the policy for subsequent suicide. If the suicide occurs within 2 years of the issuance of the policy, the insurer only obligation is to return without interest the premium. So if I never knew until I started to really read that, because people always say if somebody commits suicide, you don't get no insurance money. That is not the case, as long as it's within a certain period. But if they commit suicide within 2 years of the issuance of the policy, you will still get money back because you will get the money that you put in along without the interest. So you get the premium paid to you, but without the interest. And we also say they have here a misstatement of age or sex. And like I say before, so I'm getting an insurance and you looking at me and I say I'm a male, but I really is a female. What happens? Because of the age, because we know males pay less, females pay more. So right then, that's a misstatement. So you've been paying less premium when you should have been paying more.
So what's
Because
gonna
they say,
happen
no, hold
now?
on. I looking down here further, it's saying that it is common for female to pay lower than male of the same age when purchasing life insurance. I always thought it was different, but it's
No,
saying
females
here,
pay cheaper.
yeah, it's saying that females pay cheaper. So that's why I say now, if I say I's a male and I's a female and I's a male, so I've been paying a low premium, and at the end of the day, now something happen, I die or something. What happens then? They gotta deduct all that money what I should have been paying, and because I lied, so misstatement.
What about the new generation where say they are, I forget what it is. Anyway,
What?
I identify as a female, but I'm a male. I identify as a male. I identify as a male, and I'm not a female. Some, I don't know. They ain't sure what they sex is. That.
Oh, I don't know. Let me tell you, like I say, and nowadays, that's why they have to put those clauses in there, because guess what? You don't know. You don't know. Entire contract clause provides that the policy together with the application constitute to the entire contract between the parties, desirable for the protection of the insured and the beneficiary, because without the clause, it may be possible to affect the rights of the respective parties through changes in the bylaws or in the charter of the insured. We know assignment. When we talk about assignment, we know, like when you get a mortgage, right off the bat, your insurance has to be assigned, your life insurance has to be assigned to the bank. If you don't take out a separate insurance for your mortgage, like a term insurance, your whole life or universal life insurance that you have, you can assign that to the bank. Say it's adequate to cover whatever your mortgage loan is. So people do assignments. With assignments, the bank requests that the insurer sign the assignment form, assigning their portion or all of their life insurance to the bank in case of their death. So that's what assignment, just like when you get a car loan. What happens then? A car loan, you automatically have to, your comprehensive insurance has to be assigned to the bank also. Any questions, any concerns? Okay, so I went that far talking about the assignment. Then we talk about dividends. Some, like we know, some life insurance have participating have dividends participating. They pay the policy dividends, have participating insurance policy, which pays dividends. Dividends can be distributed as a profit, but it's practically returned of the premium payment. Reflects the insured experience with respect to the mortality, investment, income, and expenses. Dividends are not taxable to the recipient. Insurers are not required to pay dividends. However, dividends may be substantial. And like I say, we have cash payment or premium. A policy owner may specify that all dividends are either to be paid to the policy owner in cash or applied towards the payment of the next period. So I get a dividend, just like if you have a term deposit and you say, just I don't want you to give me the interest. At the every 3 months my rollover, so I get this interest amount. I don't want you to pay it to me. I just want you to roll it over on my fixed deposit. With the insurance premium, maybe sometimes 1 month you may be short, or 2 months, or you just short. So you say to them, instead of giving me the dividends, just pay my premium with the dividends. Okay, so now you have couple more pages to read. So I'm going to end there. And I'm going to say that I'm going to send you the, it's a assignment that I want you to complete related to chapter 4. So I'll send it to you. And like I say, whatever I give you, whether it be a quiz, whether it be assignment, whatever it is, whenever the midterm or the actual final exam, you will see these questions again. They will come up again. So I'm going to need you to go over chapter, like I say, chapter 4 is, is not, we have a lot of material, but it's still where it's manageable, where you can understand, beneficiary, policy loans, like we talked about that before. People take out loans against their policies, and like Ms. Knowles explained, that it could be, they add interest onto it. So it could be if somebody died, you could totally get even less than you anticipated. And we know with beneficiary, we have to actually, on our form, we have to assign a beneficiary. Ms. Knowles, when you were still in the insurance company, did your, I know before they used to say if you wanted to change your beneficiary, the beneficiary had to sign. Is that when you were there? Was that still the case?
Yes, and it's still in place today.
Only if the beneficiary is irrevocable.
All policies now, they changed it because of husband and wife doing garbage.
Okay, so husband and wife. What happens with husband and wife?
That cannot be changed at all.
Okay, so
unless the other party gives up their rights, they can sign off, but the husband can't unless he cancels that insurance. That can't change.
So what happens if we get a divorce?
It can't unless she agrees or he agrees to take his name or her name off that.
Okay. All right. So other than that,
they connected for life. That's the life right there.
I'd have to cancel the insurance and take out a new insurance and start over. Pardon me?
I said I'll lapse it time.
Well, I guess most people allow it to lapse because it means you get a divorce, and I need you to actually sign to say, I changing you. I don't, you be divorced. Why you should want, but some women and some men will say, but, or women mostly will say, well, I have the children, so you need to make sure they have it. Oh, okay, yeah, when they get to that age, I will make sure change it so they can have it. But I can let that insurance lapse because
So
if I die,
My ex-husband paid,
oh,
and he's still
So
paying,
he-
and I'm still his benefactor. I don't know about the next wife, but sorry for her. He can't get no more insurance, so chill up.
so you trying to tell me
You
she with him and they have no insurance?
He can't add her. No, ma'am. I have to
So
sign
you
for him
got
to
to
add.
sign.
I have
You have
to
to
sign.
sign in order to add a beneficiary.
Yes,
He can't
ma'am.
add her.
I do the death certificate.
How come? I get that part.
What I'm asking is, okay, she said her ex-husband, she's his beneficiary. Wouldn't you need a death certificate to claim to say that he's dead? What if the wife
Yeah.
say, you know what, you won't get this death certificate? Then what you
You
can
go
do?
to registry.
I go
you
right
get
to the
that.
government.
You don't get that.
I go right to the government and get that.
Yeah, she go right to the registry and get it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
My auntie works in registry. Next
Yeah.
question.
she can go.
Yeah, I don't know my question.
No, you know what? It wasn't even about keeping it up being messy. It was like I had forgotten, and then when it came up, I was like, oh, I just let's go. I added 2 names to it, and that was it.
Okay.
I added his 2 daughters to it. If you want insurance, you go and get your own insurance. I got this for you, but you have to pay for it and make sure that come out of the government salary though. I wasn't paying that.
Don't be no fool.
Oh boy. And so, like I say, y'all, there's not very much. I went over most. And like I say, next class, I will be sitting here. I will not say a word. Next class, we will talk about chapter 5, which is life, health,
Okay,
and
we can teach you that.
loss and exposure. So next class is just talking about the exposure due to premature death. Like I say, people die. Most people face a risk associated with that. So they say when you death, a risk is associated with that. Premature death. People die at a very young age. A lot of times we expect people to live, but I looked in the newspaper last week and this lady was 103. The week before, 2 weeks before, it was like 3 ladies was in there being 102. And I'm like, gee, and so much people dying so young, It's like, I don't mind living that long as all my marbles functioning, I don't mind living that long,
They don't insure children under the age of 3. You know that, right?
They don't?
Nope.
What you mean?
I thought you could insure a child from that child was born.
When you're born, they have a window.
Because I insure my baby from birth.
Yeah, they have a window of 4 weeks, and then after 4 weeks, they'll need a medical record or something like that.
Okay.
I never had that issue.
I didn't need no medical record. I just birth certificate. And she was in
Yeah, because that's what I thought. Yeah.
They also asked for the immunization card as well.
Yeah, they did. I think health insurance asked for that. Life, she didn't.
Yeah, health insurance. Because when my first baby born, she was in the hospital like for a month, and the doctor was like, well, you can get on insurance, but after 4 weeks, they'll ask for medical records. So in order for them not to know that she was in the hospital right then, I'd have to add her right away.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I say, chapter 5 is dealing with all of that, and it talks about income needs of survivors and surviving children. So chapter 5 is quite straightforward, and so I come to class next week expecting you all to explain to me and to read, because I did most of it today. So yeah, but chapter 5 is just really talking about loss of income, cost of disability, other income loss, exposure, unemployment, effects of disability, and other income loss of exposure, other income loss of exposure retirement. So that's because the midterm will incorporate chapter 1 to chapter 5. Okay. Any questions, any concerns? But like I said, I'll send you all the assignment for chapter 1, chapter 3, and chapter 4.
I have the
And
midterm isn't as tricky as the little quiz we had, because that was so tricky.
what was tricky, Miss Burrows?
Oh
What was
Lord,
tricky is just
I had to build up the strength just now to throw them in there.
Write down them questions and answers.
What
To
was
work, I
tricky?
was studying, boy. I was like, Jesus.
No, see, because y'all was looking for me to give it to y'all the way I give y'all the review. That's what y'all was looking for, right?
It was good.
Yeah, but it was good though. I didn't like the multiple choice and stuff because it refreshed my memory. Like as I read and I read the multiple choice, it refreshed my memory.
It started to make sense and everything came back.
Right.
It was good.
I glad I didn't have to write nothing, not type nothing down to say, well, okay, what is this and what is that? Multiple
I
choice
don't,
worked good.
because with multiple choice or true and false, remember, it only could be 1 or 2 answers. With true and false, it's
Right.
either yes or no. With multiple
Right.
choice, you can have 2 answers. You can have, I can say D, all of the above, or D, A, and B, stuff like that. So you have, with multiple choice, you have to be sure. When you have short answer questions, you can always wing it. You could wing it.
Yes,
But with multiple choice and true and false, that's why you would find like a lot of external exams, like I'm going to take the CIA, Certified Internal Auditor. That exam is fully multiple choice. Fully multiple choice. So you either right or you wrong. They don't give you no exam where you have to write and write. The master's program do that.
Would our final exam be like multiple choice and true and false?
Always. When I first started teaching, I used to give essays, short answers. And my business, a banking class, must have 25 persons in it. So imagine me having to mark all of that. And then, but nobody really tell me. And then the office said to me, they showed me papers that the lady who taught the class before, and the class was totally multiple choice. Every exam was multiple choice. And that's why I say, even external exams now, you'd have the CPA and all of those. The CPA changed a little, but I could tell you an exam that I'm going to take, the CIA, Certified Internal Auditor, that exam is fully multiple choice. You have 125 questions, fully multiple choice. So with multiple choice, you gotta be on point. So you have to have read and you have to have understood to be able to get the correct answer, because all answers look alike. So you have really had to read. And a lot of times people give you short answers or essay. You could wing it. With multiple choice and true and false, you can't wing it. You really have to read. You could play
multiple choice.
Play many, many, mo. You could play many, many, mo and say true, false, but how much of them you can get right and how much you can get wrong. So, so
with me, multiple choice, how I study is like I write down everything. So it'll click to me as I read and I'll finish it.
Right. Yeah. But that's why I say with multiple choice, you have to. And that's why I say a lot of external exams. Now, you have to really understood that chapter or that part really well to be able to pass that exam. Yeah. With answering short answers and essay, you could wing it, because you could get a piece from here, get a piece from there, put it together, and you could make it work. With multiple choice and true and false, either yes or no, or it's either A, B, or C. And other than that, and if you ain't read the material good and don't understand the material good, then you still can't, you still won't pass. So yeah, but like I said, when I first started teaching, I used to give short answers on essay. Jesus, I have to mark so much papers. It was like how now classes are so small. No, when I first started teaching in 15, classes used to be like 25 in class, and I give essay and short answers. I mark so much. I was like, how did I get to this? And Miss Dean said, but I told you, I gave you examples of what happened, But a lot of people like the essay and the short answers. I give multiple choice because you have to know the material to be able to get the answer. Yeah.
So can we get a copy of the quiz? Because I think that helped us well with.
But why I need to give you a copy of the quiz?
No, I mean the
Why?
one that we did. The one we did already.
But you have them questions.
No, we don't.
Where the questions are, we don't have them.
Y'all have the old questions, eh?
No, we look at it on the screen.
Yeah, alrighty. Okay. I'll forward it. It ain't gonna be tonight, but I'll forward
Thank
it by
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, but tomorrow I'll also forward your assignment, or I may forward the assignment tonight. But if I get up like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, as you see, that's how I send y'all things. If I get up 1-2 o'clock in the morning, I'll just forward it to y'all. Okay. So I will forward the assignment, and the assignment is not due on Monday now. It's due on Friday. Okay. So don't come giving me the assignment on Tuesday. The assignment is due on Friday. Saturday the latest. Yeah. But I'll send it to y'all, and then I'll try to the same time I'll send y'all the quiz. Yeah, I'll send y'all the quiz. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Okay.